and welcome back to the Snapshot channel. If you like what you've seen so far, like and subscribe to our channel. Today's topic, vaccine passports. So let's have a chat. What are they? What do they mean? Essentially, a vaccine passport is a very, very new idea that has really come up in the last few months since the pandemic began and since we've had the rollout of the vaccines. So it's basically a document that would prove that an individual has had their COVID-19 vaccination done. In Australia, this information will be stored on the Express Plus Medicare or the MyGov apps. The vaccine passports have already rolled out in Denmark. The discussions have been very active in the States as well to make this a reality. In Australia, though, they probably won't be implemented until the majority of the population has been vaccinated. Luckily, we won't need the passport for the Australia-New Zealand travel bubble. However, there are serious discussions now to use this passport as a tool to allow or exclude people from international travel. So, what does it mean for us really? In fact, it was interesting to read an article in the Nature magazine that was published last year that really discussed issues around such documents. So the article titled 10 Reasons Why Immunity Passports Are a Bad Idea delved into all the ethical concerns surrounding such policies. So here's what it read. Imagine a world where your ability to get a job, housing, or a loan depends on passing a blood test. You can be confined to your home and locked out of society if you lack certain antibodies. Concerning enough. Let's keep reading. It has happened before. For most of the 19th century, immunity to yellow fever divided people in New Orleans, Louisiana, between the acclimated who had survived yellow fever and those that were unacclimated who had not had the disease. Lack of immunity dictated whom people could marry, where they could work, and for those forced into slavery, how much they were worth. It's a rather somber, rather gloomy prospect to think that now we in the 21st century are going to be going back to similar processes to allow people to participate in certain activities and also whether or not they would be allowed to travel or also take part in large gatherings, sporting events, etc., etc. Where does this stop and where does this leave society? The Nature article magazine goes on to say that on April 24th, the World Health Organization, WHO, cautioned against immunity passports because their accuracy could not be guaranteed. It states that there is currently no evidence that people could have recovered from COVID-19 and have antibodies are protected from a second infection. Let that sink in. There is no evidence so far to support that those who have had the disease are in fact protected from a second round of infection. In fact, what we do know so far, and the evidence has indicated that the current vaccines for COVID-19 are like a bulletproof vest. They essentially allow you to have a mild form of the disease, so you will still get sick, but maybe less sick had you contracted the disease naturally. But evidence is yet to show that the vaccines stop the spread of the disease. And then when we're faced with the prospect of having these passports that would then be used as a tool to divide our society into the vaccinated and the non-vaccinated, immediately the question of our freedom comes into the picture. So reasons against the vaccine passports that have so far been discussed, particularly in the mainstream media. And let me point out that in this whole discussion, mainstream media is playing a major role, whether or not they normalize the concept or they also have a role to put some of these issues into question. So things that are to be questioned at this point in time with this whole topic is it compromises medical privacy. It forces people to vaccinate even if they weren't planning or if they didn't believe the vaccine is yet safe enough to be administered. It discriminates against people and opens up a whole new level of potential discrimination further down the track. And of course, the ethical issues. In March, Dr. Mike Ryan from the WHO told a virtual news conference from its headquarters in Geneva that it was vital to record that a person had been vaccinated, but said using that information to allow or prohibit a person from taking part in a regular life raises complex ethical issues. The issue has also been incredibly divisive in the States, in America, where, according to a Sydney Morning Herald article, it says that some Republicans are strongly opposed to what has been dubbed corporate communism, while some Democrats are backing them as a tool to enable the resumption of mass gatherings. New York was the first state to officially launch a vaccine passport app, while Texas and Florida have banned them. Meanwhile, here in Australia, there is currently a petition circulating that is urging the Australian government to not launch the vaccine passports. In the petition, it says such passports could be used to restrict the rights of people who have refused the COVID-19 vaccine, which could be unacceptable and discriminatory. So far, over 50,000 petition signatures have been collected. So, to conclude our discussion here, look, the vaccine passports are an incredibly controversial topic. It is something new to us as a society, although we have had historical examples where similar approaches were used to divide societies, to create more discrimination, to create witch hunts, potentially, and to cause a major division amongst our population and society. So it needs to be thought through. Certainly, a lot of caution has been raised already by the WHO and other scientists and doctors on this subject. So let's keep talking and let's keep thinking, and we look forward to hearing from you. Share your thoughts, share our channel, subscribe, and we'll chat again soon. See you.